I feel like this always happens with Fallout 4 modding. It's like a slow week, a decent week, maybe 1 or 2 mods getting released, and that happens a couple times. And all of a sudden, you just have this massive week where all these cool new releases come out all at once. Well, that was this week. We got a ton of great stuff and a ton of really big mods for Fallout 4. Some of these are really anticipated, having been in the works for months now. And honestly, it's a great time to be a user of mods for Fallout 4. There's a ton of great stuff coming out even in the future, and a ton of great stuff coming out right now. Regardless, welcome back to another episode of Fallout 4 Mods Weekly. One really minor announcement, I'm actually taking the next week off. Well, technically taking it off. I pre-recorded 5 days worth of videos. I'm moving into college and I kind of just need a break, so I probably won't be around in the comments or anything like that. They're all going to be scheduled, and I'm just going to honestly try and stay off YouTube for a week. So starting things off, we do have Church of Adam Overhaul. This was a very anticipated mod. This actually had its earlier roots back a few months ago. This mod author Carnage Fiend was making a few different gamma weaponry. He created a gamma grenade as well as a gamma kind of Gatling laser type deal. Well, now he's expanded that further, including those two options with this mod, but also a plethora of new armors and consumables that are usable by the Church of Adam. Again, there's a ton of new armors added in by this, and a lot of them look really freaking good. There's a mixture of some custom assets as well as some of the vanilla assets. For this reason, a lot of it is very lore friendly. It looks like things these people would genuinely be wearing. One common theme you'll find across all these armors, though, is they're meant to be higher end. The Church of Adam and vanilla Fallout 4 have a lot of rags and really don't wear armor to begin with. What this mod is going to do is actually give them some of these armors. And again, all this is integrated into the level list, so as you now encounter and interact with the Church of Adam, they will be wearing a lot of the stuff that you download with this mod, including some of the weapons and grenades added in also. I can't stress enough how big of a difference this is. If you look at the Church of Adam before, a lot of them, again, were wearing rags, or just some of the higher end opponents were wearing armors, but now with this new edition, there's a good mixture of armors and armor hybrids where it's kind of a clothing and armor mix. And even beyond all that, using some of these armors on yourself, even if you don't support the Church of Adam, is still pretty nice. They do look extremely high quality, and honestly, it's some top-notch work by Carnage Fiend. Maybe you hate the Church of Adam, but I would still download this mod. It's not the biggest file size in the world, and it's a huge overhaul to them, both visually and your actual interactions. They're going to be a more powerful and kind of deadly foe, and definitely is going to make that Far Harbor quest a little bit more interesting. And just a little kind of funny side note, this mod author is actually answering almost all of the comments to this mod in character as if he is part of the Church of Adam, and it's just really funny. I would definitely recommend reading through them. So we have a really simple mod, but one I think a lot of you guys might like. This is going to be called Unlimited Survival Mode. This is a mod that basically exists with the combination of some other mods, but this is going to probably be the most seamless and simple one to download. Basically, it'll require F4SE, but it's going to enable fast travel, unlock the console, unlock the vanilla save mechanics, as well as God mode and things like that in survival mode. And even some smaller features not found in other mods, like being able to enter and exit survival mode whenever you want, enabling achievements when you play with mods. As I did say, pretty much all of this has been seen in other mods, but this is one mod you could download right now that just works seamlessly. There's no configuration or anything like that, and for that reason I think it's going to be really convenient for a lot of people. So this is a big one. We have the Hellfire XO3 Power Armor. This is a mod a lot of you guys have been waiting for a very long time. It was originally teased months and months ago, and I've been getting tons of comments about when this is being released, and well, that comes today. At least for PC users, I imagine it'll make its way over to Xbox One in a few days. That's typically how the Road to Liberty team operates. There's actually a really cool way to get this armor. I'm not going to spoil it too much. There's a video about it, but you have to fight some pretty interesting enemies, and I just like that integration. It's a little bit more difficult and a more special experience than some other armors. I can talk about how this armor looks and all that stuff, but I want to talk about how this is a little bit different than some of the other power armors we do have, outside of course, just visuals. As you can see, there's 3 different variants here. What these are going to be called are models. Basically, the way this is going to work is there's 3 models here, and each of them are going to have their own custom ability. This is not the material. You could also modify the material. This is a totally new setting that basically gives you a new and unique buff. The standard model, which I'm not showing you because, well, it's standard, gives you like an agility and intelligence buff, which screw that. Conversely, you have the Hellfire model, which is going to make it so when you land, like crash landing in power armor, you are going to set ablaze some of the enemies around you. That's pretty much the theme you'll find with all 3 of these. The Brimstone model is also going to have this, except with radiation, and then the 3rd model, which is a little bit more special, is going to have this but with cryo. Personally, I think the Hellfire one is the best looking, although the Brimstone is definitely a close second. I really like the paint job on that one. I like this feature. I feel like this makes it stand out from some of the other power armors out there. It adds in its own little level of uniqueness, which with how many mods we have at this point is definitely needed. All around, it's a very high quality mod. It definitely lives up to expectations and honestly even surpasses them a little bit. So this is a pretty simple mod, but I think a lot of you guys might like this. It's going to be called the Simple Assault Rifle Replacer. What this will do is effectively remove the vanilla assault rifle from Fallout 4 and replace it with the assault carbine and the service rifle, both by Deadpool 2099. In effect, what this means is anyone that previously had a vanilla assault rifle integrated into their level list, and that's, you know, the big gun with the cooling tube over it, really ugly. Now those characters or NPCs will be using the service rifle or the assault carbine. In addition, there's some other assault rifles integrated into the level list just naturally through their modding procedure. What this mod is really going to do is completely remove the vanilla assault rifle because a lot of people don't like it and it still was pretty abundant even with a ton of mods installed. I really like this mod. I think Deadpool's creation far exceeds what Bethesda created with the assault rifle in Fallout 4, and it's honestly my most hated weapon in the game, so not seeing it again definitely pleases me. AutomatronWheelLegs by M or M150 is going to add in a new component to all of your robots, or a bunch of new components. In the leg section now, you're going to find a bunch of different wheels, these ranging from big surrounding wheels that look like they're out of Star Wars and probably are inspired by Star Wars, to some simpler ones that are kind of just one trackball on the bottom or multi-trackballs on the bottom. It's a pretty simple mod, but I really like it. M150 has made a number of mods for the robot crafting station, and no one else really seems to be doing this. It is a huge kind of platform for customizing robots, but maybe Bethesda just got it really right, or people don't really like it that much because there's not that many mods, and again, it is really cool being able to customize and change your robots in even more unique ways. This is going to add in that functionality. Maybe you don't like being limited by legs, or rather your companion being limited by legs. Well, now you can roll around with you, attack enemies even a little bit faster, and who knows, maybe in the future you'll be able to ride them and kind of have it as a functional car. It's a really simple mod, but I think it adds in a cool feature into the game that a lot of people will enjoy using. So this guy's been putting out some great content. This is going to be another mod by Synthropo with the Fallout 3 dart gun. This is the same mod author that brought us some of those Fallout Tactics weapons over the past few weeks. He is again back with the dart gun. This is going to be a pretty simple mod like his other mods, but of course from Fallout 3. It's going to add in this dart gun that's going to be kind of similar to the Syringer rifle, almost a lower level version of the Syringer rifle, another theme that's been seen across all of his mods. There's going to be 10 new poisons added in by this, ranging from ones that'll kind of stun opponents, leaving them on the ground, to healing them, to just poisoning them over time. It does fire syringer ammo, so you just craft a syringer and then you could use this and go to town. Again, one of the big aspects about this mod, which has been the same among all his mods, is it's available in lower levels of the game. If you want access to poison in Fallout 4, you have to get a syringer, which you really can't do early on. After installing this mod, if you want access to poison, you could use a dart gun. Not nearly as strong as a syringer, as it is only single action and has some other flaws. It still is a very useful tool, and even if you just shoot at an enemy to kind of get the damage over time, then take them on normally, it can be a very powerful weapon, and honestly, it's a ton of fun to use. So this one I just thought was kind of funny. This is going to be called Corporate Wasteland. What this mod's going to do is change all the logos integrated into Fallout 4 with real life logos. So Nuka-Cola becomes Coca-Cola. Vim becomes Pepsi. This is going to be done across all of the different brands you can find. There is a patch for Fallout Harbor as well as Nuka World, so it really is everything. Some of the modified Nuka-Colas will become Nuka Cherry. This is a texture change among the base items, so it actually works with different mods. As you can see here, I'm using Rockin' Red Rocket, and you can see all those labels are changed. There really isn't a great reason to download this mod unless you find it funny or entertaining, or maybe you just want to feel even more immersed in Fallout 4, like it truly is the real world. Again, I really just thought this was kind of a silly or funny one more than anything else, and I think a lot of people will get a kick out of it. So last but certainly not least, we have Sierra 117. This is going to add in the extremely iconic Mark V armor that did appear in the Halo series of games. The mod itself is really simple. You could customize some of the different aspects about the armor, adding in some visor augmentations as well as different pieces of the armor. So you could have like a leg augmentation, an arm augmentation, but they're just kind of the normal armor mods you will find in vanilla Fallout 4. Beyond that, the armor looks amazing. There's two different paint jobs here, one from Halo 4 as well as the one from Halo CE. This is one of those armors that definitely a lot of people wanted for Fallout 4, but no one had really made it yet because you have to more or less build it from the ground up. You can't just rip it from Halo CE or some of the other Halos because one, it'd be much lower poly, and two, it'd only be available on websites like Gun Network. So finally, someone has built one from the ground up, and I gotta say, this is probably one of my favorite mods released thus far. I'm a huge fan of the Halo series, so maybe I'm kind of fanboying a little bit here, but this is definitely going to be a mod I'm using over the long term. I would love to see some more functionality to the armor, but even as it stands right now, it is an extremely good looking and high quality armor piece. It looks really good in Fallout Fallout 4. It doesn't feel out of place as far as the modeling and texturing goes. From a lore perspective, I mean, Master Chief, maybe he flew through a few universes and landed in the Commonwealth. That's totally plausible. And the stats behind the armor also do make a ton of sense in the sense that you're pretty much unkillable. Considering Master Chief never died, I also consider this to be pretty lore friendly and makes sense from a traditional standpoint. Again, if you're a fan of Halo, download this armor. It's really high quality. Just put it on your companion. They're pretty much useless anyway. At least now they'll be useless and pretty much never die. That's pretty much going to wrap it up for this week of Fallout 4 Mods Weekly. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Again, I'll see you in about one other week. I'm moving into college, so there's going to be a lot of changes. I might be live streaming during the week though, so we'll see what happens with that. As always, again, thank you for watching. I do hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.